Hey, thanks so much for being here. I'm excited that you're with us. And if any of you are new, I'm going to let you know how we're going to roll for this next half an hour. And if you are new and a guest, please put your name in the chat and who invited you to come. And that's always really lovely and helpful for us. And so how this is going to roll is we're going to have the first 10 minutes. We're going to talk about the science and technology of this incredible light technology, photobiomodulation, and how exciting it is to really turn our lives around and get it going in the right direction. And so then we're going to hear some stories from people. So don't be shy. Please put yourself on camera so I know I can ask you your story. That's really helpful for all of us. You know, what happened in the past, what patches have you used, and what's happened since using them. So that's always pretty thrilling. And then we'll have some time for your questions and answers. So don't be shy. You can put them in the chat. You can raise your hand on here, and we'll get to your questions. So with that, then after half an hour, we will complete that part of our time together, and we will, you're free to stay, you're free to go, whatever works for you as a guest, but we will stay on and we will talk then about this business of LifeWave and how we take this out to the world. I really feel we have a social moral obligation to share this with other people. It's so powerful and safe and non-invasive, which we love. So with that, I'm going to introduce you to my wonderful sponsor, Dr. Staci Holweger. Dr. Staci is a mine of information about this technology and many other things, how to build a business and all sorts of things. And she has a heart of gold, and she is my sponsor in this business. I feel extremely blessed about that. Always, every day, every night, I tell her a million times, I love you so much. And thank you for everything you do for us. So you're going to hear from Dr. Staci, and she has 2 PhDs in integrative medicine and functional medicine. And so I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Staci. Thank you for your time. I know it's super valuable, and we appreciate you on every level.
Thank you, Jules. I feel the same way about you. Super, super, super grateful every single day and night. Trey and I are always talking about Jules and her team and how much we love everybody and everybody in his entire organization that's here. So we're just so grateful for all of you guys. So I'll give you a little bit of info about this technology. This is what it looks like. It looks like a little round Band-Aid. You can see that it's sticky on one side and it's smooth on the other. David Schmidt is the inventor of this Band-Aid / technology, and he is the owner of LifeWave. This is a non-transdermal patch, meaning when I put this on my body, there's no medicine, no chemical, no nutrient or herb that's entering in through the skin. This is a wearable light technology. And so the only thing that enters into my body is a wavelength of light that I don't actually see or feel. I'm sure you're familiar with light therapy. Lasers, red light, blue light, cold lasers, infrared saunas. I'm sure you're familiar with red light therapy devices. I know you're all familiar with the sun, right? So we know that different wavelengths of light from different devices, different wavelengths of light from the sun, create change inside of the body. Whether we're putting them on, whether they're going out in the sun, they're creating change. So with our patch, it's a little bit different in that we don't need the sun to activate it. We don't need a sauna. We don't need a laser or red light therapy device. We just need our own body's heat, which we are emitting. And so that heat that comes off of our patch is what's interacting off of our bodies, interacting with the patch. So we put the patch on in the morning when we get up. We can put it on the back of our neck, CV7, that bumpy vertebrae back there. We can put it below our belly button, or we can put it right here where you can see it. And honestly, any place works. The key is to put it on in the morning when you get up, leave it on 12 hours, stay hydrated throughout the day, plenty of good, healthy, clean water, take it off after 12 hours and throw it away, or put it on your pet. And then get up the next morning and do it again, and again, and again, and again. So day after day, week after week, month after month, we're going to continue to patch. Why? Well, you're going to hear some testimonials here in just a minute, but the main thing you need to understand is this patch is going to elevate a peptide in the body. That peptide is going to reset or upregulate over 4,000 genes in your body to their young, perfect, healthy state. In turn, it's going to activate, elevate, and mobilize your own stem cells. Okay? So let's go through this one more time. I put the patch on in the morning when I get up. Don't see or feel anything happening, but immediately the peptide GHK is elevated in my body from the wavelength of light. My genes are reset and my stem cells start waking up. We know GHK as a peptide declines as we age. We know our stem cells decline as we age. And as Jules mentioned earlier, help people get healthy, right? Take charge of their life, take their health back. But what if you're already healthy? What if you already have everything perfectly fine? You have no health issues. Well, that's why I say when you activate, elevate, and mobilize your own stem cells, your stem cells help to not only repair and regenerate, but they help to reverse functionality. Meaning, chronologically, I'm 51, right? My stem cells are all woke up now, of course. I've used the patch at least 1 month for every decade I am old. So I'm, definitely going to be healthy. But the longer I've patched, which I have now for 4.5 years, I've been able to reverse the age of my heart, reverse the age of my kidneys and my liver and my endocrine system, my neurological system. So I am functioning much younger than I am chronologically. My biological age is younger. So what does that mean? It means longer lifespan, longer health span, meaning you're going to be healthy for a longer period of time. Right? We prevent diseases, prevent those top 5 killers, cancer, diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's, dementia. So when you're younger, your organs and systems are functioning younger, your body's able to stay younger, right? And for those of you that are not in that situation and you've got a lot of health concerns and issues, here's what happens. Everybody asks, does this work for all of these conditions, all these issues, these diagnoses? The answer is yes, 100% it does. The next question they ask is, how long is it going to take before I feel results? I have no idea. We're all so different. You're going to hear testimonials and they're all going to be very different. But based on our clinical studies, people start to feel changes in 3 to 6 weeks, like less pain, less inflammation, better quality sleep, more mental energy, focus, clarity, concentration, more physical energy, faster wound healing, faster recovery. So we notice that these things start to happen pretty early on, 3 to 6 weeks, but they compound. The longer we patch, the more results we see. And it's going to be different for every person because we're all completely different. So will it work for you? Absolutely 100%. When will it work for you? I don't know. We'll give you a health tracker. You can keep track of your progress so you know where you're going and what's happening, what's changing. And then, of course, when we look at that long-term effect, we can see that people feel younger. Jules says all the time, she's almost 70 years old, but she feels like she's in her 30s, right? Laura just had a birthday last week in her early 60s, but yet feels and responds and acts and looks like she's in her 20s, right? So we know that change takes place, and we've heard a million amazing testimonials. So the question is, are you ready to get yours? And are you willing to be consistent and stay with it to get your testimonial so that you have the ability to not only improve your quality of life, but then also to be able to impact others around you? Because if you take care of yourself, you can help other people better, right? I remember that a long time ago, a lady told me, little old lady named Penny, about 85 years old. She said, honey, you got to take care of yourself or you're never going to be able to take care of your family or anybody else. So you're number one. You got to put your oxygen mask on first. And you're here today to put your oxygen mask on yourself first. And then start telling people around you, right? Naomi's going, yes, that is so true. Then start telling people around you, let me get your oxygen mask on you. Let's get you start patching so that you have the best quality of life so we can live our lives together and be happy and healthy forever. Or as long as we're here. So Jules, I'm going to turn it back over to you, and I'm going to go ahead and let everybody have the ability to unmute themselves. So then that way we can hear from our testimonials if you want to unmute. There you go, Jules. Perfect.
Okay. Super, super. Thank you so much. Well, Laura, beautiful Laura Bolza, it was your birthday. You do look like you're in your 20s. Would you share what's happened for you with this?
Gosh, so many things has happened. I've been patching you guys for 4.5 years. I originally started because of my own personal healing journey. I knew one that I had previous to finding out of the technology. Many of you've heard it just briefly. I healed myself with stage 3 breast cancer, all through nutrition and vitamin therapy and supplementation in 6 months. And it wasn't until 4.5 years later after that that I heard about this technology from David Schmidt with Dr. Staci. We had gone to listen to him speak. Really coming into this thing just as healthy as a little clam, but knowing that this was going to support my body in a way, in my opinion, where just nutrition could not do by itself. Why? Because I was going through the aging process. All of us at one time were doing that aging process. But it led to so many different other things to me. You know, I found out about the technology 2 weeks prior to having a hip replacement. Really not even putting two to two together, even though I was wearing all the patches. I wanted them all on my body, to be honest with you. Certainly not telling you to start with all of them, but you know, that's just me. I had been wearing them about 2 weeks prior to my surgery. And then I went in and got my hip replaced, came home, immediately put them on that day. And what we found was that I had truly increased my healing abilities by 40%, around 40%. And my surgeon, as well as his number one PA, were absolutely blown away by my healing. Could not believe what they were seeing. They hadn't seen healing like that, and they'd been doing this for like 35 years. But I think as time has gone on, it's become so much more about not just supporting my well-being and my health, which it has immensely. I'm truly 25, if you want to know the truth. My birth certificate says I'm 63, but my body, the functionality, my biological age says it's around 25. I'm able to continue doing the things that I love doing. Like Staci said, I don't act like a typical 63-year-old. I'm pretty crazy. I love traveling. I love hanging out with people. I have an incredible family. I have 3 grandchildren and 1 on the way. We're creating a lacrosse team over here. But, you know, I think it's just given me such vitality, one that was not expected. Just because I do have things floating around in my family that people have experienced, and we're not having those experiences over here, and I'm very grateful. So it's been tremendous, and I'll never stop. It's part of my regimen. It is a tool in my toolbox that is just extremely easy for me to incorporate, and honestly, very affordable. So I love it. I'm grateful. And I can't wait to see what David comes out with next.
Yeah, right on. And we are grateful for you. We love you too.
Thank you.
You are so much fun to hang with. I
Thank
love
you.
Well, fabulous. I would love to go to Dan. Dan, you've had some amazing experiences. Would you share what's happened for you since patching?
You know, I can, but I'd rather talk about somebody else. We have a client that we've been working with, and when we started with her a few months ago, she could barely hold her eyes open. She was dealing with shingles on her left side of her face, and she's in her, I think, 70s, but she's miserable, and she's also taking care of a 40-year-old son who has problems and needs home care and things like that. And she also did not want to be communicated with, which makes that a little difficult as well. But you know, we communicated with her, and we responded back to her when she did do something. And the interesting thing is, just Sunday, I guess, we took a call from her, and it was 6 o'clock in the evening, and she was bright and alert. Her eyes were open. She had just had a busy day all day, which she had not been able to even get out of the house previously. And so, you know, that's the kind of thing that, you know, when you see that, it's amazing. It's truly amazing. And so, you know, for me, that's more important than my story, you know, because I mean, it's life-changing for her. And, you know, and so I want to throw in one other thing is that, you know, I was worried about her, and I've told her this, I was worried about her because of isolation. We don't realize sometimes what isolation can do to you, the harm that it can handle or cause mentally and physically. And so that's another, so staying in touch with people is also, very important to, I think, in my mind, to possibly prevent that if it's there. So
absolutely, it's quite the epidemic right now, isolation. I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much, Dan, for sharing. I'm going to go over to Val Fraser. You've had some amazing experiences with your foot, but also with, I think, your thyroid, some other things. What's happened for you?
Yeah, I'll just tell you about something that happened quite recently, and it's very short. I had some trigeminal nerve pain, which I get from time to time. Didn't quite identify it straight away, but then realised it was tracking up here, and it's not a nice pain, and actually for some people it's excruciating. It wasn't horrible for me, but enough to disturb me. And I was wearing my Aeon patch and my X39, and I just moved them. I just moved them to one here and one here, and within minutes, that pain had gone.
Wow, fantastic. Will you just share what happened with your thyroid? What was going on with that?
My thyroid, yeah. In fact, I was just looking back at those results today. So my thyroid, I've always had don't know if I've always, but since they started looking, when you do your well women checks at, sort of early middle age or whatever, I had a TSH, a thyroid stimulating hormone level of going up, and they weren't treating it because I didn't want them to treat it. And as long as it stayed around the double figures or just below, they weren't going to. They like it to be below 5. And in October of last year, it rose to 16.7, and I was running out of options, really. Started patching in February, and April the 6th, and that's how I can pinpoint it now because I looked at the data today. April the 6th, my TSH was 3.2, and it's never been 3.2 since whenever they've started, investigating.
Wow. So it's like 2 months, basically, pretty much.
Yeah.
Fabulous. And which patches were you using?
At that point, I was only using X39 and Aeon.
Wow.
And then subsequently, I've added others in.
I love it. Thank you so much, Val. I'm going to squeeze one more in. I'm going to squeeze in Jill Orsman. Jill, would you share quickly what's happened for you?
Yeah, hi. I'm going to talk about the pain. I think the IceWave experience, which still blows me away. About 3 weeks into patching for the first time, I was on X39 and Aeon, and I woke up 3 weeks in with a chronic back pain. I couldn't stand up, and I had IceWave. I hadn't used it, so I thought, well, here's the opportunity. Let's open that pack. And I put that on in the morning. I had a Zoom call at 10 a.m. and I was on that call for 2 hours. And when I got up from the call, I was completely pain-free. I couldn't believe it. And I stayed pain-free for 8 hours that day. And then I literally used the IceWave for the next 2 days. And by day 3, I was completely pain-free. It gone. And I've never had any problems with that. And that's over nearly 2 years now.
That is fabulous. I am sure we wouldn't have the opiate crisis that we have if we had IceWave on everybody who started using opiates for pain. So yes. Thank you so much, Jill. All right, who has questions? I know we have a couple in the chat there. So Dr. Staci, turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you for everyone that shared your testimonials and other people's as well. So first question I see is it possible for a cartilage to regrow in the knee, and which patches to use? So anything and everything is possible, I'll tell you that, okay? We have seen the most off-the-wall miracles and amazing things happen with people. As far as patches to use, I would use the X39, of course, the one I talked about that elevates GHK, that activates stem cells. We also use the combination of Aeon and glutathione. So Aeon and glutathione are really important. Aeon reduces inflammation in the body. Glutathione is the master antioxidant detoxer, but it's also called liquid gold. So it comes through and coats all the joints throughout the entire body. And when you listen to David speak, there was a video I did. He was actually talking about just water, but he was talking about regrowing cartilage in the knee. making sure that you're using those 3 patches, as well as taking a collagen peptide, collagen supplement, which of course our X39 does elevate collagen, but he said right away you should be taking collagen every day, as well as vitamin C. And so those were the things that he recommended, the inventor of the technology, to regrow cartilage. So that combination. Dan, did you tell them what patches were being used?
Yeah, basically X39 for the most part, and then also Aeon.
Perfect. Thank you, Dan. All right. So Naomi says you're from Mexico. Naomi, welcome. There is an event in Guadalajara today, and I think one in Mexico City tomorrow. So I don't know where you're located, but we do have events happening, and we do have a lot of Spanish materials as well, too. So we want to make sure we get you connected. If you guys are not, maybe Laura, you could put in the chat mylifewavetraining.com and that password. There's a section of Spanish materials in there, as well as Bulgarian. Right, Tony? We've got Bulgarian materials in there, and obviously English. And if there's anything that you want made into any language, Trey can make it into any language. We have 170 language options for changing any of my videos. Just send me the video you want. I'll send it to him, and he can change it to the language just like that and send it back to you. Just a little side note. Okay, so question, brother wants to understand how the patches work and what's in it. Okay, so this center part, the white part right here, is a cloth. It is embedded in between this sticky part and this smooth part, which is a 3M hypoallergenic polymer shells, okay? That white part has on it what David has invented, which is a crystalline lattice structure. Okay, now let's talk about that structure. It is made up of a proprietary blend, because remember, our patches are patented. So you will not know the ingredients. You will not know the wavelengths of light. That's why we are the only thing on the planet that exists like this. We are patented. So it's a proprietary blend of organic amino acids, sugars, oxygen, and water. These are molecules, not things from your kitchen, okay? They're called chiral stereoisomers. These stereoisomers form together in a lattice structure. That's on this cloth. You don't see it, of course. It's embedded in there, and it actually happens, literally, your eyes can't even see it being taken place, because the robotic system that puts the patches together and infuses that solution on that is a $4.5 million robotic system in Galway, Ireland, in our largest manufacturing facility. So it happens at the speed of light. So what happens is that solution on each patch is different. David has invented 10 different patches. Each patch has a different lattice structure, so it will reflect a different wavelength of light into your body. Every wavelength of light does something different. We know that. Light therapy is not to be disputed, right? And we know that there's different types of light therapy devices, different wavelengths of light do different things. Our patches elevate specific wavelengths of light. Again, they're patented, but they are proven to elevate specific peptides or trigger specific processes in the body, depending on what patch it is. That's why we have double-blind placebo-controlled studies and why we have patents on each patch, because we prove that we say what we do, okay? Or we do what we say we do. So that when you put that on your body, the wavelength of light that enters elevates the peptide, triggers the process, the biochemical reaction happens in the body to make XYZ happen, whatever it may be, okay? Key is that it's bringing the body into balance. Does that make sense, Kathleen?
Yes, it does. It's mainly for my brother who's on this call.
Okay.
His background is with doctors, so he needs more technical information than I could give him. So I think you've explained that really well. Thank you. How does that then, I suppose it's just a scientific thing, how the light then elevates the peptide and then wakes up the genes, the stem cells.
Okay, so wavelengths of light, whether it's from the sun or a red light therapy device or a laser or infrared sauna, different wavelengths of light do different things in the body. They may reduce pain or inflammation. They may increase collagen production. They may detox the body. Different wavelengths do different things. We know that. Okay.
Right.
So our specific patches elevate very individual specific wavelengths of light that do very individual specific things, like elevate GHK-Cu or AHK-Cu or glutathione or epithalamin or trigger beta oxidation. The wavelengths of light do something very different and specific in the body. But when you do that, there is a biochemical reaction. It doesn't just elevate GHK. When you elevate GHK, it resets genes. One of those genes is what's responsible for activating, mobilizing, and elevating stem cells. Or when you look at, for example, glutathione, it doesn't reset genes. Glutathione's a tripeptide. When we put the patch on, the wavelength of light is proven to elevate glutathione in the blood. It's a peptide we have. So we're going to elevate glutathione because it's declined. Glutathione is then going to do what it does, which is coat the joints, find free radicals, pathogens in the body, chomp them up, help to reduce oxidative stress. So every peptide has thousands of things that it does in the body. We don't have time for that. We have 1 minute. So go to PubMed, maybe type in GHK, do a little research on the benefits of it. We have a PDF. It's 52 pages. Jules can send you. It's called The Story of X39, and you can do a deep dive into that if you want. But we also, in your back office, have all the clinical studies. And so you and your brother can read every single study cover to cover. Some of them are 30, 40 pages long because I printed them out. And some of them are just a few. But take a deep dive in that. All right? Sound good?
Thank you, Stevie. That was brilliant. That was brilliant.
You're
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So real quickly, when we look at menopausal symptoms, we look at our X39 or Aeon. I would definitely add in the SP6, which helps to balance the endocrine system, which is responsible for hormone balancing. And then I would also use the aloe vera at night because aloe vera is amazing for female reproductive organs and male as well. Then I would also, for the slip disc and sciatica, use your X39, your Aeon, and IceWave if there's pain, of course. All right, let's see. Last two questions. Can I ask, as I'm new, why not take glutathione or NAC instead? So when you take NAC, which is the precursor, which is perfectly fine, it's amazing to do so. We have NAC in our Celergize that David has formulated. There's nothing wrong with taking that. You absolutely can. When you look at our body's absorption ability, hopefully your body can absorb and assimilate that NAC. We're hoping so. But when you look at glutathione, we know that taking glutathione, whether it's a suppository or like Laura used to have to do, or sublingual, or maybe it's a IV, supplement type, it's gone. It has a 7-minute half-life. And so in a couple hours, that glutathione's gone. So you no longer have coverage of that glutathione getting rid of free radicals or detoxing. When we look at our patch, it's going to elevate our own glutathione over 300% and sustain that raised elevation of glutathione for over a 24-hour period. And so it's much different than something that is an exogenous source, not of my own, versus elevating my own. Big difference, big game changer. It's no different than getting a stem cell injection, right? Versus, of donor cells versus elevating and resetting your own stem cells. Big difference. And then carnosine is going to be a second really largest big antioxidant. Carnosine is going to help with brain, heart, organs, eyes, connective tissues. Carnosine's it's an incredible antioxidant. Very different from glutathione. Glutathione's systemic. It's going to go everywhere, do everything. And then carnosine kind of says, hey, I'm going to hang out here in these areas of the body. I like to repair the heart. I like to repair the brain. Let me work on this pancreas that's shot from the poor choices in food. Let me get that glycation balance. So carnosine's more of a specific. Okay. All right. So if you are a guest, thank you for being here today. Please get back with the person that invited you. They're going to figure out what other information you need, get that sent to you, help you get set up with the wholesale pack and the patches that work best for you. and of course, probably people in your family that you care about and love as well. I know that was me. And when I found out about this, I'm like, oh, I need this for every single one of us in our family. And so I ordered the pack to make sure I got the best patches at the best price for everybody in my family. And we would look forward to, of course, seeing you again on a Zoom soon. Please feel free to bring guests, bring your friends, your family members that want to hear more, learn more. You don't know how to explain it, totally fine. We'll give you the health tracker. You can share it with them, but we'd love to have them on as well so they can hear from other people and be able to get their questions answered.